If you love boxing, you felt the tremor from this one all the way through your feed. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence "Bud" Crawford, a champion who conquered super middleweight against a pound-for-pound purist who has cleaned out divisions with timing, precision, and swagger. Their training clips are being dissected frame by frame. Their press conference barbs are being replayed like hooks to the body. The narratives are colliding. Size versus skill, experience versus ring IQ, pressure versus poise. Before we get into everything we've learned, from the new training footage to the star predictions from Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, Tim Bradley Jr., Shakur Stevenson, Manny Robles, Shane Mosley, Jim Lampley, Edgar Berlanga, Joel Diaz, and more, drop your city and age in the comments. Who you got and why? Canelo by late rally? Crawford by surgical decision? Make your pick. Hit like if you want more real fight analysis. And subscribe so you don't miss our full film study on how this chess match might actually play out. The clip that kicked the hornet's nest. Fresh footage made the rounds this week. Canelo Alvarez in camp, but not the version you might expect. Less bulk, more snap, less planted feet, sledgehammering, more fast twitch rhythm, and rapid fire combinations. No wasted motion. It wasn't the walk you down and detonate Canelo we've seen in recent super middleweight title defenses. It was closer to Slick Nello, the version that glides, rolls, and picks counters without telegraphing his weight shifts. Terence Crawford watched that tape and smiled the way a master locksmith must smile when someone upgrades a lock he already knows how to pick. "What is there to talk about?" he said. "You're fighting the best fighter in the world. You better take it serious." Crawford read the footage as respect, and as confirmation that Canelo understands exactly what's coming. "If I hadn't fought anyone," Crawford added, "if I was too small, if I was all the things the media says, he wouldn't need these guys to get ready for me." Crawford's message was clear. Keep the cameras rolling. "I'm happy he's getting the help he needs," he said flatly. After September 13th, there'll be no excuses. Why Canelo's camp looks different. Speed, not just power. Faster output. Sharper entries, quicker exits. Canelo looks leaner, maybe a touch lighter in some angles compared to his last outings at 168 pounds. That's not a fan theory out of thin air. Slow motion reviews show he's building a tempo that can survive Terence Crawford's rhythm traps. He's not trying to turn himself into Crawford. He's trying to blend just enough speed to meet Crawford at the rhythm line, without sacrificing the timing that makes his counters thud. A few analysts even suggested that in certain gym angles, Canelo appears smaller than Crawford, odd on the surface, until you remember frame, posture, and camera lens can lie. Still, it fed the debate. Is Canelo sacrificing his natural advantage to chase a smaller, faster man? Or is he finding the exact balance he needs to avoid being outboxed over 12 rounds? Crawford's camp, the quiet thunder. Don't mistake Crawford's calm for complacency. The talk out of Omaha and Vegas is that he's in the best shape of his life. Stronger physically, but not at the cost of speed or breathing room. Reports from sparring, confirmed by no less than Shakur Stevenson, say Crawford has been in with bigger men for months. Super middleweights and even light heavyweights, looking for pressure that feels like September. "Everybody Bud spars is the same size as Canelo," Shakur said. "He dominates." The important line from Stevenson: "You can have all the chin in the world. If you get hit clean by the right puncher, you feel it. Bud's accuracy travels." And that's really the heart of the case for Crawford. Elite accuracy and the ability to invent new fights inside the same fight. He's the only boxer in the sport who can switch stances at high speed without losing his structure or his eyes. He doesn't try to win the exchange. He tries to program your next decision and punish it. Respect. Thinly veiled and fully earned. Canelo isn't selling a bluff. Publicly, he's almost dismissive of the narrative that Crawford poses a unique challenge. "He's not going to beat me," Canelo said at the press conference. "Don't worry about it." And yet, pick apart everything he's done since this fight became real. All business. "When you're a great fighter," he said, speaking from the experience of jumping from junior middleweight to light heavyweight and back, "weight doesn't matter. I'm not focused on size. I'm focused on training hard because Crawford is a very good fighter. That's not arrogance, just the steel." If you've watched Canelo since the Bivol loss, you've seen a pattern. He respects danger with preparation, not quotes. The press conference, sparks without smoke. The face-off gave us a proper little drama in miniature. Crawford promised to take the belts home. Canelo promised his fight would live in the history books and reminded anyone within earshot that not one man who claimed to be different had cracked his code at 168. Crawford shot back. You'll see I'm different. Canelo waved it away. Nothing different. There's a simple joy in this level of confidence. Two men who truly believe, who don't need to sell more than that, standing a step apart from a date carved in their heads. Skill versus size, two valid realities. It feels like this fight sits right at the fault line between two truths. The first truth, Terence Crawford has beaten naturally larger fighters his entire career. From 135 to 140 to 147 to 154. He has made height and reach look like suggestions rather than problems. His ring IQ, his ability to read you fast and punish your habits, makes him dangerous across weights. The second truth, 168 isn't 147. The density of punches changes. The clinch changes. The way power lands through arms into the core changes. Canelo has been built into this division over years. He's fought Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, John Ryder, Gennady Golovkin at middle and super middle, Sergey Kovalev at light heavy, and Dmitry Bivol at 175. You can't fake that kind of topography. You have to live there. So, which truth governs? That's the fight. Stephen A. Smith. If you can box and move, you can beat Canelo. Stephen A. Smith didn't hesitate. Crawford by decision. His case is that Canelo, as great as he is, relies too often on power shots. He hunts the moment against a pure boxer like Crawford who can switch stances and use the jab as both a weapon and a decoy. Those loaded moments create empty space. Every shot can't be a power shot, Stephen A. said. That doesn't beat Crawford. In other words, Canelo must rediscover the lighter feet and crisper jab or risk losing too many early rounds to catch up. Max Kellerman, a jab that dictates terms. Max Kellerman's read is a little less theatrical and every bit as pointed. He sees Crawford's jab as the new fulcrum of his game. It's not just sharp, it's commanding. Crawford uses it to control distance, to freeze an opponent for the second shot, and to test readiness for the backhand. Canelo's jab, by contrast, has faded into a supporting role in favor of counters and power hooks. That trade-off works against fighters who feed him offense. It doesn't work as well against a switch-hitting minimalist who refuses to give you rhythm. Max's defense point matters. Everyone gets hit. The question is, can you land combinations? Both men are hard to hit with a clean two-piece. That means whoever gains the edge in footwork, not just speed, but placement, will get the judge's eyes. In Max's ledger, that's Crawford, Timothy Bradley Jr. They said Ali couldn't beat Foreman. Bradley isn't saying Crawford is Ali. He's saying the structure of the doubt looks familiar. In 1974, the conversation wasn't nuanced. It was weight, height, strength. Then Ali changed the terms with ring craft, strategy, and audacity. Bradley thinks the same miscalculation is happening here. Not that Canelo is Foreman, but that people are treating size like destiny. Greatness is built on being uncomfortable, Bradley said. He believes Crawford has made this fight his universe for a year and will acclimate to the power. Once he does, it's a different fight. Shakur Stevenson. Inside the gym, not the highlight reel. You won't find better gym testimony than Shakur Stevenson's. He trains with Crawford. He sees the work, round over round, away from lights and edits. Everybody Bud spars is the same size as Canelo, Shakur said. He dominates. Shakur also flagged a logic fail a lot of fans keep making. Chin mythology. You can have all the chin in the world. If you get hit clean by the right guy, you feel it. 8-ounce gloves don't lie. Not for Crawford. Not for Canelo. Manny Robles. The best in the world. And Canelo doesn't look huge. Trainer Manny Robles looked at the footage and saw something worth noting. Canelo doesn't look as big in this camp buildup. That doesn't mean he's lost strength. It may mean he's targeting speed, but Manny's bigger point was about Crawford. Pound for pound, the best in the world between him, and in no way, he said. Switch hitting, counterpunching, ring generalship. Crawford checks every box, then invents another two. Robles doesn't call the fight one-sided. He calls it what it is: dangerous, fascinating, and close. Shane Mosley. Size matters at elite level. If skill is comparable. Sugar Shane respects both men, but he brought us back to the physical. He believes Canelo's frame, at this weight, will be too much over time. Not in the first 2 rounds. Down the stretch, Canelo's conditioning at 168, his short power shots, and his balance inside the pocket give him a type of control that size amplifies. Mosley didn't say Crawford can't win. He said if both are near their skill ceilings, natural heft and power are a problem you must solve for 4 to 6 rounds, not just moments. Jim Lampley. The caution no one should ignore. Jim Lampley, voice of so many great nights, didn't want to rain on magic. He simply observed what he'd seen. Crawford at 154, excellent, but not dominant enough to make 168 feel like a straight lineup. Meanwhile, Canelo, even in recent fights where he didn't look spectacular, still generated violent moments inside the pocket and along the ropes with short, heavy shots that tax legs and lungs differently. Lampley worries that Crawford might simply be too small to be effective defensively for 36 minutes against that kind of weight. Edgar Berlanga. Be bud or go home. Edgar Berlanga's advice could hang on the wall of Crawford's gym. Don't become the opponent to beat the opponent. Be who you are. Stick to the timing, accuracy, and composure that built 2 undisputed reigns. Berlanga acknowledges the jump in weight is real. The power will feel different. The push in the clinch will feel different. But boxing law is simple. Clean punching is clean punching. Buds on 8-ounce gloves, too, as Shakur said. Trust the hands. Joel Diaz, the most emphatic no. No one put sharper than Joel Diaz, the trainer who helped Dimitri Bivol execute a blueprint to beat Canelo and who has also prepped fighters for Crawford. His view is stark. No way Terence Crawford wins this fight. Not if, not but. Diaz sees the size gulf in Canelo's all-around game as too much. Coming from a coach who has stood in corners across from both men, his certainty rattled some fans and reinforced what so many old-school trainers believe. Elite skill travels only so far when the man across from you is too big, too strong, and too good. Amir Khan, discipline, over and over again. Amir Khan, who has felt elite speed and elite power in his own career, sees a path for Crawford. If he's immaculate, stay away and be smart, he can win, Khan said. No lapses, no bravado exchanges, no gifts to a world-class counterpuncher with a world-class chin. It's obvious advice until you remember how hard it is to follow when the blood climbs and a crowd begs you to prove something. The defense debate, who's slicker in real terms. It's not controversial to say both men are elite defensively, only that they express it differently. Canelo's waist and head movement is often misread because he's planted. He moves within a tight range 2-3 degrees to make you miss by less than an inch. He makes that sliver of space look like a canyon on replay. Crawford's defense is based more on angles and distance. Slight shift with his feet, paired with hand positioning designed to mislead. In the pocket, Canelo's rolls and counters are cleaner. At mid-range, Crawford's eyes and feet give him windows you think you closed. So who has the better defense? The right answer might be whoever controls where the fight takes place. Keys to the fight, where it will be won. The jab. If Crawford's jab owns the first 3 minutes and he varies at high/low, hard/soft, step in/step off, he dictates pace. If Canelo brings a jab back and uses it to close distance rather than find it, he changes the geometry for bud. Feet versus cutoff. Crawford has to make exit standard operating procedure, not emergency maneuvers, especially when he switches to southpaw. Canelo cannot follow. If he follows, he loses minutes. He has to step across, not forward, reduce the ring in 2 or 3 steps, and fight